Really hard to follow up that sweet bumper. Welcome to the Trovo Challenge. We are in the semifinals here today. I am, of course, Simo. Alongside me is Vansili. We're bringing the heat. We're bringing the energy. Vansili, are you ready for today's best of 3 matches? No, I was wondering. I was like, what's going on?
So that's a good start. That's a good start. That's a good start. That's a good start. So I realized, because I had echo in my ears, I was like, oh, wait, is it me? Do I have to mute me? Do I have to mute you? And I muted both of us. So that was a great start, because I looked like I was smiling and everything too in my mind. But now we're going to fall back into what I was trying to say. Big shout out to the man and to Jason as well, because they covered the action for the European scene earlier on today. Now we could focus in North America, where we are a little bit more comfortable in talking about these teams. And I'm expecting hopefully some upsets in this matchups, or in these matchups tonight.
You know, yesterday, specifically in the North American division of the Trovo Challenge, we saw a lot of 2-0 sweeps yesterday. And the teams moving on today, of course, are either going to be 2-0 sweeped as well, or we might see a little bit more action than what we saw yesterday. But speaking of action, I would love to have a look at the schedule just to see what we can expect, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we saw some of the teams play earlier on today for our finalists. Moving on, which we will cover, of course, tomorrow. But today, it's going to be Demon Time and Oxygen Supremacy to kick us off, with Way Too French and Team Underrated following up later in the evening.
Yeah, that's going to be a very good matchup, like I said before. Team Way Too French, I can't wait to cast them, because I love casting these guys, because they're from Montreal pretty much, or Quebec, in that province, and we got to represent those guys too. Demon Time, when I was talking about this this team with Bach seems to know this team a little bit from the Counter-Strike scene. I don't know this team myself, but for them to make it already to the semifinals, that means that they show some promise. And Oxygen Supremacy, whenever they were announced for the Pulse Invitational next week, I'm like, who the hell are these guys? And I'm like, man, why did they get an invite? And then I was totally proven wrong. Actually, when you're looking at the lineup then, before they were actually known as Oxygen Supremacy, it's like the DSK people that I've played in the beta as well as in Valorant. But I've seen some interesting strategies that came out from that end, from that team, and it shows that they've put a lot of preparation into the matches, into the games. So I think this is going to be a very exciting one. I still think on paper, just knowing how Oxygen Supremacy plays and witnessing their gameplay from yesterday, that they should move forward. But I hope, no matter what, that it's going to be a close series.
Yeah, no, absolutely no doubt. I do want to have a look at the bracket just for us to have a little bit of a better understanding of where these teams, are coming from. You may be just joining us for the Trovo Challenge, so we need to get you up to date. We saw Demon Time, and something I said a little bit earlier on is that there was a lot of 2-0s yesterday. Demon Time, Oxygen, Way Too French, and Team Underrated. But some of the teams that fell to the wayside are teams that you and I personally know. 303 Esports, a team that has been trying to compete in some of these open qualifier tournaments, specifically in North America, falling to Oxygen Supremacy. And for those of you that are deeply rooted within the CS community, you'll notice Big Frames as well, taking a big blow to Team Underrated and falling to the wayside as well. Of course, the other teams ascend, and I believe that is I-95. I personally don't know them that well, but, I do know Way Too French. I do think that they deserve to push forward, as well as Demon Time. Bach said he knows them, and if I know Bach, he knows that team has to be good.
No, definitely, and these guys are playing for a lot of money as well. Big shout out to Trovo to put this money together for North America and Europe together. That means $20,000 prize pool. You made it at least to the quarterfinals, you secured $400. Now at least these teams have secured $800, and now it's $1,000 matchup pretty much. You make it to the grand finals, you're guaranteed $1,800 tomorrow. So a big shout out for them to put $20,000 together, and also a big shout out to GLL. Basically, they've been the platform that's been putting all the qualifiers together, what we're using as well to go throughout these brackets. You guys can check it out because they're running a bunch of tournaments starting next week, and that is going to be happening daily for Valorant. So you guys can check that out on play.gll.gg/Valorant, but they also have competitions for PUBG, PUBG Mobile, and Auto Chess.
You know, you said guaranteed 1,800, and my mind immediately went to, I've been watching this show recently called The Wall. And at the end of the show, it's like, you can either take this guaranteed money or you could risk it all. And I'm just like, that's what I thought immediately in my head. But I know that the teams obviously want to walk away with 5,000 smackaroos. That's 1,000 per player. If you disclude the coach, of course, the coach usually never gets a little bit of a cut. But I'm sure that some of the teams will spot $1 or $2. But let's focus a little bit more about the matchup that we have coming up ahead. It is, of course, Demon Time versus Oxygen Supremacy. You were very surprised yesterday by Oxygen and what they have to offer as a team. But my personal opinion, especially when it comes to Demon Time, is that they can play the map pool a little bit better than Oxygen Supremacy. If they take Oxygen over to a map like Ascent or Split, we might see something a little bit more closer than if it was Bind or Haven, where Oxygen seemed to be a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, when I looked at Oxygen Supremacy, the reason why I said, who the hell are these guys, is because we didn't get a chance to cover it. We didn't get the chance to watch them in the past qualifiers, but for them to be able to beat Echo 8 in the end of qualifiers to get it into the quarterfinals, I think it was a match round number 2 or something like that, where they actually beat them. I think it was even a 2-0 when you're looking at that bracket, or a 1-0. No matter what, they still got the beat and the victory over Echo 8. That in itself is already surprising, because you're looking at Echo 8 that qualified for the Immortals First Light, and you think that we're going to be an up-and-comer team, and then suddenly you have another team that comes out of nowhere and they're moving forward. And that's what you were talking about, Simo, when you're saying it's not only about the $5,000, but it's also the bragging rights and also the title for winning the Trovo Challenge. Because you win this title, you have an opportunity to get your organization's name out. You have a chance to get your old brand name out if you're the players yourselves. And it's going to be just nothing but good news moving forward. But until then, we could stop talking about the teams, because we are actually into the map. And you said it was going to be arbitrary in terms of maybe we have a left-fielded map, and it is going to be on Ascent. So I'm assuming this could be Demon Time's map pick.
Yeah, and to kick us off, it's going to obviously make Demon Time feel a little bit better. We did see Oxygen yesterday play to great effect on Bind. They took Bind 13-6 over 303 Esports, and that means that the maps moving forward might benefit them immensely. We are seeing the push start to come in through here for Demon Time, looking towards that B site, but they don't even notice the camera. But the paranoia is going to put KP in a difficult scenario. Kills already traded back and forth between Wheaties and Jerk. Now they have the site. Let's see the retake here from Oxygen.
That's right, Oxygen on a defense trying to get it done. I like the fact that they actually have a jet playing on the attacker too for Demon Time, and that already you see him dashing through it and breaking the trap wires. That's a big one to actually deny any type of plays of cameras and trap wires inside the B site. Now we do have 3, make that 4 alive for Oxygen Supremacy as they are closing in, getting 2 down, trying to go for this defuse, but Curtis is actually in the dark cover, gets the headshot to Inarx, but it's traded off by Moon. They will get the defuse, and Oxygen Supremacy has a great retake for that pistol round.
Now, listen, we talk a little bit about this map and how it can be a little bit more favored towards the attacker side. And not only we've got Demon Time, who are comfortable on this map, really hoping to try to start a lead. You know, recently there was an interview with 100 Thieves Valier talking a little bit about how pistol rounds are so crucial. You win the first, you win the second. If you win the third, that's 4 potential rounds in a row that you're starting to snowball a lead. And for Oxygen to win this first pistol, while we still have many rounds left to go, it's a great start and a great sign for them moving forward.
And definitely when you're looking at a game that's only 1st to 13, that's why those rounds are really, really important. Yes, the money economy is very important too in terms of getting the weapons like the Spectre in the second round, as you see right now for the defense. That's going to help them a lot with the action here. Jerk getting 1, KP getting the second one here, but it's traded off. Finally, Wheaties gets the frag.
Oh, great opportunity to close the door there, though. But it seems for them, they've picked up a couple of guns here. One, to be specific, off the Omen. But it's already not looking so good for the side of Demon Time. Pretty standard stuff here when you have the weaponry advantage. Very difficult to try to answer back. But this is where the weaponry now will start to come through for Demon Time. We're seeing Vandals and Phantoms across the board, heavy armor. So it's really going to be up to Oxygen to try to hold fast. We've seen it, you know, done quite well so far. The push through middle, the push through B. I like how Demon Time is keeping their opposition on their toes, or maybe they have a specific set strategy. Okay, on pistol, we Zerg B. Okay, now that we have the weaponry, let's play A, let's play Cat, let's have control of mid, and let's see what that's going to end up in this third round.
Another thing to note, actually, when you're looking at Oxygen Supremacy playing on the defender side, they actually are running another comp that's stageless, right? And that's the debate and the discussion that's been happening a lot on this map. A lot of teams just want to utilize the smokes. They don't want to go with the Sage heals. And now we have the first action of this Inox not going for an upgrade, gets the kill onto Witness. It's traded off, and there's a bloodbath towards this mid control, Simo.
Yeah, it's very important here for Oxygen to try to continue and hold on to the round. It's getting a little chaotic. Curtis already taking out another member, and now the 2v2 looking for control of this B site, but it might not be in the cards for the side of Demon Time, just waiting for them to develop this buddy system and push through. But a choke point is here up ahead. The shot's good for Moon. One more around the corner. That's going to be the dark cover that tries to block off the door, but Moon repositions, pulls back towards the hut, and gets a much-needed frag. 3-0 start here for Oxygen. We talked about it literally after the first round, how detrimental this can be. On an attacker-sided map, Demon Time, they need to try to find one and put it on the board.
Oh, definitely. And Moon is one of the players that I was watching yesterday in the matchup too that's able to get these multi-kills quite often. Could probably be an anchor for the site too. So when you have somebody like KP that's running trap wires and cameras inside this B site, then he could actually rotate and stack up towards mid, help out towards A side, and then you have somebody like Moon that could just anchor and help out the team to prevent any type of aggressive pushes inside this B site. To start things off though, Moon's gonna get the first contact this time towards A though, as they're trying to battle for this orb for Demon Time.
You know, very recently, you and I had the pleasure of casting the T1 Valorant Showdown, and T1, they just hit A every single time. Had control of Cat, had control of AC there, pushing through towards the A site. Just so much control. It doesn't seem like Demon Time are able to obviously replicate that to great effect. We're seeing them have control of tree here. Open frag here for Cole. He'll take down Jerk. But with that door in their way, they need to start to push through. Moon's on the other side, trying to spray down, but the clip is empty. Witness takes him out with the Sheriff, and now it's up to Inox to take care of it.
He did have the running back, and now he does get the headshot onto Witness. It is a save round no matter what, though, for Demon Time. So being able to get 2, make that 3 kills as Wheaties comes in with a headshot ghost onto Inox again towards A. They've sold the rotation. They're going to move towards B, get this spike plan at least for the money, but they have a 2-minute advantage on a save round. This is amazing right now for Demon Time.
Oh, great shot here from KP. Sees one more push through. The shots are good. The classic is out. KP keeps the dream alive. That shot's not going to connect. Has to back away in the corner, but is already starting the rotation early. It's the 1v2 for him. Curtis, he can't do this. He has 81 HP, 11 armor. He's got that spike down. At least the 300 credits will come through, but they'll use the buddy system to push in. The spray was almost good with the transfer, but it's DSK with the Grumpy Cat making it work.
You know what? Maybe it's the caster's curse. When you're trying to speak too soon, they had a great start on the eco and the pistol, getting those 3 kills to make it a 4 versus 2. But when it comes down to actually trying to make it through market, I didn't even notice that there was actually an operator that was watching it towards spawn, so you could watch it from a long-range angle, and he wasn't even missing there. So KP did his job, got those picks, and at the same time, that's what I was talking about. The camera that's inside the site, you can leave that site solo. So when they saw Curtis move in as the Omen inside this B site to try to go for a plant, got tagged with it, at least they got the money. I think no matter what, Demon Time had a great eco for 3 kills and a spike plant, but I think that round should have been theirs on that 4 versus 2.
Now we're seeing Demon Time play a little bit more towards the middle. I think that's something that they need to play if they're going to try to scrounge rounds back into their favor. We saw varying teams to having great success as they have control of mid. The defense can't really hold it as well, especially Sageless. You don't have the utility to try to keep the enemy at bay. And so Demon Time, now that they have that control, playing it a little bit slower this time around. We'll see if Oxygen are prepared for a push.
Yeah, the orbital strike started towards the market too. They got the first pick. So you see that there was 4 ults ready for Demon Time on the attack. So this might be the opportunity where they can finally turn it around and get the first on the board. And it starts off well. Cole gets the first kill. Curveball a little bit blinding his teammate, but at least they got the kill before that. So things are looking very good for Demon Time with now a 5-on-2 situation, sorry. So KP still has the operator towards the back of the mid, towards that spawn side, and somehow still connects onto Cole through the blaze wall. Okay, I like this. I like this. Bishop then takes down Inox, and that means you only have 1 more remaining, and it is a Cypher trying to make his way towards his A side on this 3 versus 1 on the site. and you still have one lurking towards B, so this is going to be very difficult for KP to try to save his gun. Nice. But it starts off with the first kill onto Bish.
Yeah, breaks down that window as well, knows that, you know, if he goes through it, he might find himself some opposition down up into the rafters. It's Wheaties. Gives him a bowl of cereal to eat. KP will fall there. And a round on the board for Demon Time. They needed it. They desperately needed it. I'm not going to lie to you. If you're a Demon Time fan right now in the chat, they needed that more than ever. It's an attacker-sided map where a little bit more, you know, the verdict is still in session. But that shot, man, from KP, don't know how he thought of it. Don't know how he predicted it. Maybe he heard something. But
it's the barrel of the gun that actually stuck through the wall there, Simo. And just that was enough for him to pick that shot. That was just unfortunate. I don't know if maybe Inox was trying to walk through the wall to actually get some heals at the same time too, but it was just a nice shot.
And already a nice shot. They push up towards AC and they find Inox. A great pick to open up the round, and a lot of utility as well used to try to stop them from pushing forward towards A. But they already have other plans in store. It's Cole that is looking to push in through the dark cover. No one's on the other side. One's going to be up in the pizza, and he has a slice. DSK will get taken down, and now they'll push in towards B.
Yeah, great running back to start things off here. KP is going to be anchoring by himself for a bit as Bishop drops his teammate with the operator. So he's going to walk through his own Cybercade. He's going to come head-to-head against two. Gets the first, but whiffs on the second, unfortunately, as Witness trades it out. So now the B side is now open. There's only one player remaining on the defender side. What I like so far here, Simo, is that Demon Time in the past 2 rounds have only used 2 ultimates when they had 4 ready on each round. So they didn't need to deplete their ultimates right away from the start, get the picks that they need, work as a team, and get these rounds. So things are looking a little bit better here for Demon Time to start this comeback in this matchup.
Not to mention that Witness, he just used the orbital strike, like you said, in the past 2 rounds, and he's 1 point away from another. So expect, you know, either Demon Time to funnel plants for him, or, I mean, you can't really force him to get kills, of course, but if they can help it, have him try to get some of those frags or get that spike down. He just needs 1 more point. They are, however, now on the prowl. The hyenas smell that there's blood in the water, and they'll try to find out where Jerk is hiding, and they're actually looking relatively in the correct place, but the buddy system is a little spread out. Shot's good, and he'll back away. There's still 1 more chasing him. It's Cole, who's now going to swing the corner, sees the Jerk, and takes him down.
He was hungry for that Jerk, and he snapped it away. So that's going to be the second round at least coming in for Demon Time. No gun saved. And actually, if you're looking at the scoreboard now, there's no money for Oxygen Supremacy. So despite them winning 4 rounds in a row, they lost 2, but they went for expensive buys, right? They had operators for 2 rounds. They had Phantoms. They had Vandals. Now they have nothing to work with. But we've seen that Demon Time was able to work very well with pistols on that 3rd round. Let's see if Oxygen Supremacy could do the same thing on the defense. And it starts off with them trying to play very aggressively towards this mid. Look at that minimap. There's 3 players towards mid getting ready to push through the dark cover, 2 on catwalk, so now all 5 of them are going to head towards mid. And nobody's watching B. They're pushing through the connector at the link, but it's weighted by Witness. He gets the first kill, Cole up in the mid onto Inox. That gets a double kill as well towards that back of that mid side. So now they're all dropping. It's looking to be a very easy eco round now for Demon Time to make it 1 point away. Now 4-3 in this overall scoreline on the first half of Ascent.
But imagine a world where Demon Time just come back and win all of these rounds that are remaining. It's going to give us a 4-8 half, and to be quite honest, I don't think that that's something Oxygen is afraid of. They won 4 straight, and all they really need to do is probably put on 1 or 2 more, and then they get to play the attacker side on Ascent and have a really good time doing it. Unless Demon Time have some answers, but considering the agent selection that they have, they've got Phoenix, they've got Jet, they've got some selfish characters, in my opinion, when it comes to the agent selection, so don't really expect a whole lot when it comes to trying to keep the enemy at bay.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at the composition for Oxygen Supremacy on the attacker side is like, okay, let's smoke towards this mid side, play it slow, mid control, and split. When you're looking at Demon Time, having somebody like a Jet and somebody like a Phoenix, it's like, all right, let's bring the battle to them. Let's go for that buddy system that Simo's talking about. Let's go for the trades and take the upper hand. That's why, like I said, you don't have that many kills where they're actually using the ultimates as Curtis lines up 3, and Witness gets the 4th down, and Jerk is the only one that's able to get a frag towards his mid control. So they're trying to do a surprise attack for Oxygen Supremacy, and it got fully punished on that one. So now it's just one more to go, and it's going to be the Cypher of Oxygen Supremacy, KP, only with a Phantom.
Seems like Demon Time have started to really find their groove, and you know, better late than never, I guess. They lost 4 straight, but have since won 3, and it's looking like yet another to tie us up back 4-4 here for Demon Time. Spikes down, it's all up to KP. He's going to risk his life. Goes around the corner, going to find Cold. That door will quickly close. He'll spray it down, unfortunately not able to finish it off. There's going to be one Cypher going down through the catwalk. It's going to be Wheaties that is looking for the long con flank. We'll see how KP is able to get the job done here. The operator shot misses, but little does he know there's a buddy system up there. They're having a sleepover. Shots are starting to be set here from KP down to 94, but it's Wheaties. He was there all along, coming in from behind, and it's 4-4 now for Oxygen and Demon Time. We'll see if Oxygen, at the end of the day, for me, their goal is to just put one more on the board, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think if they wanted to put one more on the board, Simo, sorry, they should have saved that weapon. KP, yes, he got that first kill. I understand what he was trying to do. Because to get the first kill right away, well, the Spike just got planning. You have plenty of time to work with. You're trusting your aim, and KP's got it. He was trying to win those 1-versus-1 battles in case Demon Time was doing some mistakes. And one mistake that I saw actually was when that op shot was missed by Bish, Witness went for a pre-fired shot instead of just waiting around the corner to get the kill. So that could have been some mistake that could have been very costly. But this round, though, look at that. Oh. 10 ultimates on the board, and it starts off with the Hunter's Fury. DSK connecting with only one tag, but Moon does get the headshot onto Kolok no matter what. So that means, though, that they have this 1-minute advantage for Oxygen Supremacy. I think from what I saw, I only saw a Ghost, so I think they don't have money to work with.
Yeah, it's going to be the eco here for them, except KP's got himself a Bulldog. I guess he's just trying to force up to make things a little bit more even when they bounce back in the following round. But nevertheless, a great start. And that really makes sense now why they use the Hunter's Fury to try to get somebody out of contention here, especially when it comes to a Sageless comp. Those Hunter's Furies actually could be quite detrimental if you're able to get more and more, especially when you get Shock Bolts in the mix. A Sageless comp will really spell bad news if you're able to find the targets and find the damage to chip away at them early. Surprised I'm not seeing a lot more of that, but with a couple more ultimates here, 7 to be exact, available in play, we'll see how the rest of the round unravels.
Yeah, Moon's already setting up here for an orbital strike at A main. You have a little bit of information being pulled out too. There's that orbital strike towards the entrance of the site, and Moon with the crossfire gets the headshot onto Witness. So a selfish play, but he gets the kill, and KP also gets one into the site. DSK retaliating onto Wheaties as well. And now there's not that much time left to work on the clock, actually. The spike is down, and it's only the operator remaining as Bish with the op is trying to get a frag. There's definitely no time to plant. He's just looking to save, and at this point, just try to stay alive. And he's doing the econ damage, does get the pick there onto Inox. Nonetheless, he loses the gun. They'll probably salvage this operator if they wanted to. I see from that minimap that the Silva is very, very close. But that round, the force buy that came for Oxygen Supremacy, what saved them there pretty much were the ultimates.
I actually think that DSK did not opt in to go for the operator. I think that they're now realizing that they need to play a little bit more scrappy up against Demon Time. We have to remember that some of these teams, we have no idea how long they've been playing together. And if there have been some new additions to the team or teams have been kind of interchanged, they're going to play a little bit more puggy than usual, right? And so what that means is you either double down on the op play or you play a little bit more standard and develop some of these long-term fundamentals with just using rifles. We're seeing that a little bit of that play here coming out from Oxygen, playing it a little bit more closer. But will that pay off? Demon Time have proven for the past 5 rounds that they can play it too. So we'll see now with 1:15 left on the clock how they decide to execute. So far, it's a 5-man spread.
Yeah, exactly. They're split across the map. It's the operator to start things off towards A. Contact towards Catwalk as well, as we have curveball after curveball, but this baseball game is on the 7th inning stretch. It's very, very calm. Nothing happening. Finally, the paranoia. But a nice recon arrow actually spots them both. So that actually nullifies the paranoia that came towards Inox. So Inox is going to be able to stay alive. Double blaze wall coming through. It's a crossfire setup now on both sides, and I love this mirror matchup. But despite all that, it's still a 5 versus 5. Finally, an orbital strike comes down, but it doesn't connect onto anyone, as Moon is going to get the first contact and also will be the first death in this round. They're starting to climb into this A site, and finally, it seems as though Demon Time finally has the upper hand.
Yeah, great shot there from DSK. The rest of the team, they made their way onto the site, having to use the tailwind to push in. No longer is that ability available, but they'll find one here onto Curtis. The door's going to go down, but for how long? Cole is on the site with 7 HP alongside a close range op with Bish. We'll see how this pans out. It's DSK with 1, 2, and the third to push through. And, you know, we said they only needed one more round, but they managed to find us 2 here on the docket.
Yeah, and I thought it was actually going to be a great round for Demon Time to overtake that A site because they took Moon down very, very fast in that corner by the door. They had the orbital strike from Demon Time into the garden as well to push some players away, but somehow whoever was playing on the top of that heaven side on the rafters was just picking them off, and they couldn't really make it inside the site. They were really stuck behind the boxes. They were stuck by the generator. They couldn't even come in and get a spike down either. So it was a great round, a great hold no matter what from Oxygen Supremacy that looked so good for Demon Time to start. And I just saw quickly here, we buy, of course, for Demon Time, but they don't have that much money left in the bank.
Yeah, and considering there are only a couple more rounds here remaining, they hope to have the economy to play in that last and final round. Yeah. We're already seeing an engagement here. It goes a little wrong here near the Kench bench. Witness and Moon will trade frags here, but still it's the mid control for Demon Time, so they can continue to push forward. Little do they know, it's still the tripwire set up. Of course, the Cypher is down, but this utility is still there. And so that can be useful to gathering the information that they need. A couple smokes going down. They'll still look like they're devoted towards B, but there's 2 on the site.
That's right, an operator start things off. One more at the staircase, and they started off well. Everybody's holding off, on the staircase and the entrance of B. They couldn't even get past the market, so an easy round going in for Oxygen Supremacy. I did say that they probably didn't have enough money to work with for Demon Time. I'm assuming it's going to be the same scenario in this last round of the first half. Of course, you're going to buy whatever you can, but I think you're going to be low on armor or low on utilities. We do at least have an operator in the hands of Witness who's looking for an early pick into B. So I see full shields. There you go. There's one that has a Spectre, but for the rest, overall, it still looks okay. And they're very, very far away, actually, from getting orbital points, too. So it's going to be a difficult round for them here, Simo.
Yeah, and considering we're not even looking at a Sage, we have to think about the repercussions of, like, well, could that have provided utility in other rounds? Well, teams are starting to play around with the idea of not having a Sage. Jerk, of course, already going to take one out. Wheaties will follow suit. Puts the milk first, the cereal second. It's Inox here with 2 quick kills in the fish market, throwing that hot hands down, using the runner back as well to try to push forward and see who else is left in the fish market. Around the corner he goes. It's the spike carrier. The spray is good for 3, and there's 1 more member remaining. It's Curtis, and it just looks like it was headshots all around. Oxygen really showing their supremacy.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, if you don't mind observing it, hit the tab. So if I look at this here, there's been 2 defuses, 1 bomb that went off, or 1 spike that went off, and 1 win on time. So when you're looking at the overall round of the first half, it was practically impossible for Demon Time to move into the site to get a spike plan. So despite Oxygen Supremacy not having a Sage for the walls or whatnot, they were still doing a great job in terms of utility agents that could get some information with Wheaties towards that B side and just stack in the right places towards his mid, towards his A, and just win these rounds from gunfights. So it's still a great showing from Oxygen Supremacy. Now that they have this comp for lots of smoke for control on mid on this attacker side, let's see if they'll run away with this map.
Yeah, I saw a couple of light armor buys as well. We'll see if that's going to pay off for both teams. I think it was 3, 1 on Oxygen and 2 on Demon Time. Or sorry, the other way. It was 2 on Oxygen, 1 on Demon Time. Will that light armor be the difference maker? We'll have to find out. They're going to start to push in. 1 comes in for Wheaties. Curtis to follow suit. They've got the ghosts in tow, and there's 4 down on the ground. It's a graveyard, and Demon Time are sending them packing.
Yeah. I wonder if there was a paranoia that came out, because when it came out of that cyber cage, I saw a lot of black faces around there, like the black aura. So I'm assuming that the paranoia did come out from the defender side. But the other thing that's interesting is that when they try to run through the cyber cage, I didn't see any flash curveballs being thrown from from Inox on the attacker side. So I'm not sure if they were just trying to go for some sort of surprise, but they were the ones that went in for a surprise from that crossfire that was fully denied on their push towards A. So Demon Time, great round on that pistol. Have plenty of economy to go into the second round. Wheaties, though, sticking with the Ghost. So I'm wondering if he's going to be operating for the team towards the A side. But you do have Bulldogs, you do have Spectres for the rest. They're looking quite comfortable right now to win the second round.
Okay, let's talk about this potential round differential that might unfold before us. Demon Time, they've got the weapon advantage now. They might push in towards another round. It's going to be up to Oxygen once they finally have that full buy. How are they going to deal with this? They're going to find 2 here. They're going to find 3, 4, and oh my goodness, Demon Time just saying not today. The paranoia as well to finish things off. Curtis and company really putting on a show, but of course, Oxygen, they don't have the weaponry to play yet. This will be the round that they can finally turn it on and see if they can knock Demon Time off of the defense pedestal.
Yeah, when you're looking at it too, right? They had 2 players with the Ghost, so they're going to be able to upgrade with a lot of money, a lot of weapons, heavy weaponry into this round. Bulldogs were purchased on that second round, which is going to be good enough here moving into the third. So the upgrade that they're going against is not that bad with the weapons that they have, right? So you have a Spectre that was saved, you have one of the Bulldogs, now you have a Phantom and a double operator. We talk about double operators a lot on defense for Demon Time, but that's why you have this type of lineup that has 5 smokes available at the beginning of the round. A flick that was missed, unfortunately, was so close, but Weedy still manages to get the kill there onto KP.
Yeah, this double op play is going to be very difficult, but I like what Oxygen is doing to adapt, playing closer towards mid. It doesn't really allow a whole lot of that op play. They'll start to push in. Witness is there. He's going to be waiting on the other side. Accidentally gets flashed by his teammate. Inox now going to push forward. One shot's going to be clean. Has to back away and pull off to give the enemy team space. Smoke's going to be going down here. Bish will find one. It's going to be the 2v3. Let's see how they retake the site.
You have to come up huge right now. It's actually a 2v4 when you're looking at it here. It's Inox trying to stay alive with his teammate as the Omen, and he's even trying to push aggressively despite this 2-man disadvantage. So now he decides to fall back as he heard a couple of footsteps from the spawn side. He gets walled down to 26-2. It's going to be very difficult right now. He's forced to fall all the way back to his teammates has fallen as well. Or sorry, Jerk was able to get the kill onto Curtis, and there you go. They finally both fall simultaneously from Wheaties, who pushes in. The defuse will come through, and they're even going to give the orbital point here, or sorry, the ultimate point, probably to prepare the orbital strike. And Demon Time makes it now 8-7.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how that round went and what happened. Oxygen forced up, did not win the round. Starting to look a little bit like the previous half. It's looking like 4 straight. Oxygen, their next force up or their full buy will be in the actual following round. So for this upcoming round, you know, the defense obviously knows that you're not really well prepared. You're seeing them being a little bit more poised up towards Cat. They're going to be ready to push through, catch any of these rotations towards middle. If I'm Oxygen, I zerg. You trade, you find these man advantages where you can, and they're doing exactly that as they're looking to prepare towards B.
Yeah, but it starts off here with their recon arrow to try to spot somebody pushing aggressively, possibly on the defender side, but they see nothing yet. Witness is in a great angle right now inside that fish market with the operator. Even going to smoke it out, but I think I saw that curveball coming out first. Now a dark cover at the same time, too. He's going to put the molly down there. Kolev's going to try to peek out, but he pulls out his knife, unfortunately, thinking that he had the Vandal out. And I hate when that happens, but at least the pistols come to work, and it's going to be the defenders that still have a women advantage here, Simo.
Yeah, the Zerg really ended up working out. They'll even pick up a couple of weapons. We see DSK here with the Vandal. That can make things a little bit tricky. The shots are not good for Inox. Wheaties gives him a face full of cereal. Still, it's DSK on the side trying to push through the smoke. On the opposite side, it's going to be Bish. He's got himself an operator. The cross isn't good. The Ghost is actually what ends up taking him down. Moon will fall. Take one with him, but it's another round on the board for Demon Time. But to be quite honest, Vansily, that was a little expensive for Demon Time. Taking out 2 members, taking out some weapons out of play, but they still have the double op, and that is what I think is going to really be Oxygen's job to take that out of play.
100%. I totally agree with you there, Simo, because keeping the double op set up or salvaging him into the next round. You've won 4 rounds in a row in the second half already when we thought that Oxygen Supremacy could have a better hold with the amount of smokes, a better control. It's not working out. So now you have plenty of money in the bank right now for the defender side to continue to have these winning streaks. They're saving a double up every single time. They're going to have a lot of credits. You're going to have to do a lot more than those 2 kills in a spike plant on Eco. Now that you have the weapons on your side for Oxygen Supremacy, let's get those kills, let's get those rounds, and let's break that economy to make this game close. Now it's already very, very close, but I'm talking about in the shoes of Oxygen Supremacy. If you want to win and try to make this close, you got to try to find a weakness. So far, we haven't found any on their side.
Honestly, I think Oxygen 2-0 if they win this map. So they need to win this map. Otherwise, Demon Time will take them the distance, and I think that they'll bring it back to a comfort pick like Split. So it's really important for Oxygen to push through and get some damage done, but it's Wheaties that is just always there to defend the site, not able to get that third frag, but still 2 members now. One going to be up in Rafters, and the last one going to be rotating through. It's actually 3 members still alive with that spike planted. Let's see how the rest of the team now starts to unfold.
Yeah, you saw the recon arrow that saw 2 players towards that Rafters. That's why you see DSK launching some shock darts as well. And it's Cole up, though, that's going to get the first kill on this retaliation on the attempt of a takeback. And pushing through the blaze wall, trying to go through the hot hands. It's going to be DSK that picks up the kill, but it's traded off by Witness. Last one to go, though, as Jerk. Orbital strike, that's it. He's dead. Wow. They're going to be able to come in, get the defuse, and Demon Time now makes it a 9-8. And that's all thanks to a great round from that Cypher. Wheaties inside that site, from the way that he's dancing behind those boxes, throwing the neural theft as well before he dies so he could help his teammates on that information for them to get that retake.
Okay, so what this tells me about these 2 teams, considering Ascent really does favor a little bit more of an attacker-sided positioning when it comes to teams, it tells me that maybe these teams aren't exactly as comfortable on Ascent when it comes to executes, and that they're playing a little bit more of a pug style and relying on the angles that they know in this map. And that, you know, it falls back onto a player like Wheaties. He's always in a great position. He has great positioning on this map, but does that mean that the rest of the team knows how to execute? Well, we saw that in the previous half they didn't, because it was an 8-4 half. Now Oxygen are facing that same difficult push. They just cannot find the W's in their pushes. It's A, it's mid, it's B. They just can't break through, similar to how Demon Time couldn't break through in the first half.
Yeah, at least it starts off well for Oxygen Supremacy this time, though, because we had a tag from, I think it was a recon arrow towards that top of mid. At that catwalk, a Hunter Skewer came out, and when you're looking at the overlay, looking at the agents, he did get 1 tag onto the Jet and 1 tag onto the Omen. So that's why you see from this minimap that the defense has actually fallen all the way back and turtled into the site, leaving Catwalk very open for business here for Oxygen Supremacy to take advantage of, and that's why. Take that mid control is what I was mentioning before, the name of the game. They're doing it now, and as they push back towards the market side, now they could focus on A. They have some information from from the ultimate from Omen inside B to spot 2, but the execution finally comes into A.
Yeah, and there's no one here on the site for the side of Demon Time. Bish will start with a great kill onto Moon, opening things up for the rest of the team. The Blade Storm gonna make things a little bit more interesting as well. Doesn't have to reload, can just swap over to the knives and slice and dice, but it's still a great post-plant position for Oxygen. Even a long flank from the Omen player coming all the way back around, but still taking his time. It's Jerk. Has to get rid of that tripwire. Curtis going to find one onto DSK. It's just so much damage coming out from Demon Time. But Inox, stay strong. Paranoia going to be coming out as well. Jerk coming in from behind. One more member remain, but the defense landed the defuse. And they are 2 away from match point.
You can't blame Jerk for that one, though, ladies and gentlemen, because you had, what, 3-4 players alive inside that site still? I think it was 3. Post-plan situation. You had great positioning, too. You had 1 towards the hell side, just at the bottom of the rafters, in the corner. Inox was able to get 2 kills of his own, but it's his teammates, the other 2 that were inside the site, that weren't able to get those kills. That actually made it very difficult for Jerk to try to come back on that 2 versus 1. He did whatever he could. Like I said, he did have the paranoia out. You saw him fall all the way back from the back of mid because there was a trap wire there. You were talking about a very long flank there, Simo, but the trap wire forced him to fall back towards that mid because he gave his position away, and now it's just too late to win that 2 versus 1. So Demon Time, great position, great gameplay, and also great way to land their trap wires to make sure that they could focus on the objective, which is defend those sites.
Already Bish, he's just got control of wherever he goes. Looks like he's constantly bouncing between mid control and A side control. Got that frag in mid, looking down towards the courtyard. DSK now, they have this weird cross where they can't see each other, but Bish is playing it safe. Don't need to peek. They've been playing really far back regardless, and it's worked out for them. Jerk, however, will find one onto Witness. Down now to the 4v4, a little bit split up for the side of Demon Time, and this gives Oxygen the advantage to try to find them unprepared.
Yeah, now they're breaking over that door. Jerk opens up the fish market, and that's 2 players that's going to say, Ohio, Time to move in to this beast fight, and they're trying to get these kills. Finally, they take down the operator towards that spawn side, but there's still one stuck inside sight. Curtis already on the flank, but loses the fight to Inox. But Cole still gets 2 kills with that Vandal, so he's the one that's trying to jump around in the shed. They at least get the spike plant, and they even it up on a 2 versus 2. They get this spike up now. Now can they get the retake for Demon Time?
Yeah, it's 2v2, but it's been so long for the other player to make his way all the way back around. The spike's ticking in very quickly. Jerk going to be one of the first lines of contact here for Cole as he tries to push through. The wall's going to go up, and it'll curve as well towards the triple box. Woo! The shots are good from Wheaties. He's going to find Moon. It's now down to the 1v1. All he needs to do is stall for time, and he's going to play the long con. It's going to be Wheaties trying to find out where is he going, where did he come from. It's going to be the shots that come out from Jerk to seal the deal, sending him his regards as well.
Everything.
Yeah.
Throwing the kitchen sink right on the corpse, too.
Yeah.
They needed that round.
Hey, at least he didn't give him some of that English breakfast. Got to keep those tea bags where they belong. The teapots. Don't need them in any of my games, okay? But very important for Oxygen to win a round, because if you have a look at Demon Time, those rounds have been very, very expensive as they've chipped away at the offense. They don't have the weapons to play. Bish going to be doubling down towards the Marshal. Really believes in himself to get some damage done. But for the opposite side, they've got guns, they've got armor, they've got it all.
Yeah, winning 6 rounds in a row, desperately needed there for Oxygen Supremacy, being behind 6 rounds in a row on that second half. And Cole up, now trying to move forward with a curveball, but was able to land a few shots, peppering down the Sova at least, but he still loses the fight no matter what. So it's a little 1-man advantage here for Oxygen Supremacy on the attacker side. A chance here to tie up the game because of how low the economy is for the defenders. And a bait from that orbital point, or should I say the ultimate point, they still lose a player from that.
Look at this aggressiveness from Witness. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're playing an eco round, you don't really have a whole lot to lose. Unfortunately for him, there's a tripwire on the opposite side. He takes it down, and they'll notice that something is not right. You see Jerk looking back towards the fish market. Orbital Strike means the Execute is ready to go. Inox is going to be pushing in through the revolving door, and that's going to be the run it back that finally ends up expiring. 2 members now ready up in the Raptors, but the recon bolt will find him clean. Wheaties! Who is this man? Where did he come from? Doing a great performance here. The shots are good from Inox. It's down to the 2v2. Not something I personally expected in a force-up round. Let's see how they end up getting that spike down.
Yeah, the 2 versus 2, 22 seconds left on the clock. Omen is yet to move inside that site, but finally, Inox opens it up. And look at that. A pistol round for 4 kills. On the defender side for Demon Time, you can't ask for anything better. Yeah, okay, maybe the round because it was so close, but they did a fantastic job actually on the defense. When you look at Wheaties, he was under heaven with 100 HP and 25 shields. You had an orbital strike and a cyber cage that was tossed inside the site. The sprays came through, but he didn't even get hit once. So it shows that the execution's a little bit off. They didn't have the information of where the defenders were at, and they barely won that round. It was so expensive for them to win.
And I mean, you have a Sova over a Jet. Use the intel, man. You got the Owl Drone, you got the Recon Bolt. Just get it in there. And not to mention, the Orbital Strike could have been back of sight instead of Generator. Not really sure where they were looking for that, but we are seeing now Oxygen. They're pushing in towards B. It's the Zerg once again. The Orbital Strike looked like it was going to be very difficult for Oxygen to push through, but they find themselves in a great position. 2 frags down now, and it's the 5v3.
Yeah, unfortunate there whenever they held towards that back of the site. Cole couldn't get any kills coming through as the Phoenix either. He tried to go for a wide swing to at least get 1 or 2 to give time for his teammates to get a better chance on this retake. Now that the spike is down, you see them falling back towards this mid side too. If they don't get a kill anytime soon, you're just going to see them probably save their weapons. And so far, though, it seems as though from the way that it's turtle inside that site, I don't think they're going to go for this one here.
Yeah, it might be just exits for them, like you're saying. Demon Time, of course, need to play a little bit safe. They don't want to lose any members like that. Wheaties going to fall. It's 3 kills for Inox. Jerks will take another. It's all up to Bish now. He's got the operator in play. Will take out the Phoenix player. 1 more, not going to connect. I can tell by his flick that he's got good aim. But we're seeing some of the fundamentals really missing from both these teams. But nevertheless, that's for them to figure out and for us to cast. 11-10 is the score line for these 2 teams, and we are getting ever so close to map number 1 being complete.
And I like the idea from Demon Time because, look, you see them on some sort of a broken buy into this round, but I do understand what they were trying to do the previous round. Because on that pistol eco that they had 2 rounds ago, they were able to get 4 kills, which means that that last round for Oxygen Supremacy was going to be super expensive. So if they were able to get a few kills, save the weapons from the 3 that stayed, or technically could have stayed alive, then Oxygen Supremacy is going to be at a very low buy, if not no money at all, going into this round here, where Demon Time could retake the lead. But now the tides have turned. Oxygen Supremacy actually dominated them, and now they're looking at map point.
Yeah, they managed to find their way into the A site. I really think Bish was like, you know what? I'm going to go B this time. They've been playing B. It's been hot. I'm going to get my operator over there. No. Oxygen, keeping it fresh, keeping it funky. They now have control of the site. The spike's going down. The point going to be going over, of course, to Moon. Early on, it's going to be KP that falls. The Blade Storm will take him out. The knives will slice and dice. And now it is up for them to retake the site.
Yeah, not sure what KP was doing looking at that doorway because it was actually closed or closing. Maybe that's why, and he was waiting, but the timing was a little bit off on the advantage for Demon Time as the Jet moves forward, whisks all of his blades and still trying to push in with his team. We got a bunch of spray happening through the dark cover. It's going to be Inox that gets 1 and 2 as Jerk, takes the last one. And now we have that map point for Oxygen Supremacy, needing that single round. And like you said here, Simo, that map that they really wanted on their side in this best out of 3.
Jack, Jerk, whatever. All I know is that Jet is dead, and Bish will be the one that feels that in the morning for sure. Scoreline is 12-10, like you said. Oxygen looking to close this out. And as we touched on earlier on, this is a super important map to close out. This is Demon Time's comfort pick. They like these funky maps, like Ascent, like Split, that don't really seem to be that standard in the competitive play. And already they are, you know, really close to being in a very difficult position as they play very aggressively now to try to find some early picks. Won't go their way.
No, at least they spot 1, though, towards the entrance of that B side. They saw that Omen from that running back that was being played here by Cole. He's going to fall back inside the site. They don't have that much information outside of that, so that's where they're pushing up aggressively on Catwalk. The trade that comes across. Curtis wins the fight, but it's immediately traded off by Jerk on that B link. Now it's a 3 versus 3. Map on the line. Can Demon Time do this?
Like that limbo through the door. Just try to get the safety there. Spycam's going to see the whole family pushing in towards the tree room. It's going to be Wheaties that's waiting there in Wheaties. Going to make it very difficult for them. Pops the cage, takes one down. Headshots are clean, but there's still 2 members on the site. Jerk will take him out, make him look like a chicken. Still 2 more are alive. 1 up in rafters. The other going to be pushing in towards the tree room, and he is dealt with. Jerk made sure of it, and it's DSK to find that last and final frag. The map, of course, going over to Oxygen Supremacy. Demon Time really have to think, what is that next map moving forward? How are they going to bounce back? Because if it's Bind, if it's Haven, it is Oxygen Supremacy that'll have the upper hand.
Yeah, and even when you're looking at the scoreboard here too, Simo, like you have DSK and KP that are quite low, at least on that scoreboard, but it was really picked up here by Inox and by Jerk. Inox playing that Phoenix with the running back, getting a lot of information for the map for the team, and even when he's running it back, I saw quite a few times when he was running towards that B side with that running back on defense, still able to get 2 or 3 kills on top of that, so he does his job. Jerk, as the Omen, I think did very well as well on the defender side too, to make sure the dark cover went towards that right area or the right areas so that they don't get pushed that aggressively and that fast by the opposite team. It started to look very good, at least for Demon Time, when they started pugging things out. You know, they were trying to bring the battles, they were trying to bring the aim, and they were able to win that one. But then Oxygen Supremacy said, okay, well, if you guys want to play that way, we'll try to do the same thing too. And finally, they got a little bit more comfortable with that play style and were able to retaliate that quite fast.
I mean, listen, Jerk is a Sage player, and he's coming out swinging, top fragging on the board on Omen, making it look like it's his main. I love to see it, but at the end of the day, for Demon Time, you know, they had a good swing in that second half, and they were really making Oxygen sweat just round after round. What was it, 6 straight? 5 straight? That is difficult for a team to swallow, but they swallowed it and continued to push on. Oxygen, of course, will come out on top, and look at these frags, just doing it justice. Demon Time, of course, can hold their heads up high, that there's still a couple more maps left. They can, at this point, you just reset. All right, let's not think about this. Let's just think about the next map. How can we win the next map? And in my opinion, change up that agent selection. If it's a different map, don't run the same thing twice. Keep Wheaties on the Cypher. that man knows the good stuff, but everyone else keep things a little bit spicy. And to be quite honest, Bish, he plays Breach. Cole, he plays Sage. Witness, he plays Raze. So they can mix it up. And so I think they should.
No, I agree with you at the same time as well. Having Sage is going to definitely help. I mean, this is pretty much the only map when you have these conversations where people are comfortable with not running a Sage. But every other map that you play, you pretty much always have a Sage. You pretty much always have a Cypher. Those two agents are still S tier. We're starting to see maybe possibilities of Omen being picked over Brimstone, but Brimstone so far, since the latest patch, is still part of the core 3 in the lineups that you see. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if we see that later on the remaining 3 maps that are available in this pool, in this best out of 3. But I gotta commend, when you're looking at how that Jett was played by Bish, right? It was for mobility, it was for the frags. He was able to get a couple of kills with his ultimate, but aside from that, I saw a lot of misses coming through, unfortunately. So I think the very fast-paced, aggressive play of the Jett as an operator maybe didn't work out too well for them. But if they want to use him as an operator with a different agent, maybe it could be a different story on the next maps.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we also need to find out what is that next map. How did that veto go? Who will be on the opposite side? Because if we are somehow going to split, Demon Time can really bounce back, and they can bring out some of those picks that they are comfortable with, because that is where they did end up playing the Breach, the Sage, the Raze, and to be quite honest, Raze pretty essential on split, so it makes sense that it's there.
We see it there. It's Haven coming up.
Haven. Okay, so this is a potential 2-0 for Oxygen. I mean, I don't mean to call favorites early, but that is a map that they are comfortable on. Expect to see Inox again on the Phoenix. That's something that he's consistently comfortable with. We might see DSK swap off of the Sova and go towards Breach. Very handy when you're dealing with, you know, A long, C long. Just flash the operator on the other side and push through together as a squadron. But other than that, I do feel like I got to give it to Oxygen here. I think this might be the 2-0.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, there's some interesting strategies that they've done yesterday. We could talk about it after the break, but hopefully their opponents actually studied the VODs or watched the matches so that they know what to expect. We'll talk about that a little bit more after the break, but until then, with Simo and Vensili, don't go anywhere. More action here for VALORANT, the Trovo Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the VALORANT Trovo Challenge with Vensili and Simo. This is a best out of 3 semifinals single elimination. We've just witnessed the first map being won here by Oxygen Supremacy versus Demon Time. Final score of 13-10 on Ascent. Simo, you said this was like a curveball pick here for Demon Time, that hopefully they're going to be able to win that round or that map. But now, apparently, from your observation, it's going to be a 2-0 here for Oxygen Supremacy.
Yeah, I mean, Demon Time, they took I-95, 13-9, which is just relatively close to the scoreline that we see here, with Bish really being the leading fragger for the team. And unfortunately, this time around, I don't think he had that much of an impact. Of course, he was getting frags, but it really was Wheaties that I think picked up the slack. And maybe if Bish picked it up a little bit more, they might have found themselves in a win. But again, 13-10 is the scoreline. And now we're going to be going over to Haven, where, to be quite honest, Oxygen Bind was a little bit more of a preferential map, I think, in this case. But they ended up there. We're ending up going over to Haven, where they went 13-10 up against 303 Esports, with the leading fragger being Jerk. And so I don't really think we saw that last time. I think it was Inox at the top. So we'll see how things are going to square up this time around. But Demon Time on defense, Oxygen on attack. Next map is upon us.
Yeah, and the small change that we have now for Demon Time is that you don't have Cole playing as a Phoenix to find some information. He's playing more utility support as a Sage. Everything else seems to be pretty similar now for the Defender side. While for Oxygen Supremacy, you also have that switch for the Sage and also a Breach, actually, to help out for initiations inside the site. So Pissed Around, about to have a contact inside B.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, B is usually the relative contact spot. They tried to start the execute with the wall, but Bishop is there, and I love to see it. But at the end of the day, they'll still get that spike planted, but it'll be the 4v5 now for the retake. Hardly a retake when there's already the whole crew on the site. They just need to fight through the courtyard.
The advantage, though, is that they have Omen, so they could put a dark cover, they could put Brimstone smokes towards that front too, and everybody's just going to start spraying through the smoke right after. But a nice Molly coming in for the Brimstone. That's going to run the clock down a little bit more. You also have a boost on the top of the boxes here of the site from Bish. He's looking for some opponents towards the smokes through the window. He's flying in the air too, spots finally the Cypher, but that Molly, man, it's lasting forever. Moon then gets the kill onto Witness, a curveball to come across, and Inox gets the kill onto Wheeze. Cola pushing forward, Bish as well, but it seems as though Oxygen Supremacy will take the upper hand in this pistol and win it quite well, actually. They solidified that win.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, there's nothing really what else to say, but it wasn't the Molotov. They had a Molotov, and then they added hot hands right after, so they just kept that place secure the whole time. But I still have to give kudos where kudos are due. Demon Time, Bishop, finding the early frag as they were trying to get that execute. Usually you put the wall up, then you put the smoke on the other side, and you can plant, and nobody's going to bother you. But Bishop, he was ready to stop them dead in their tracks. And now you're seeing they don't really have the weaponry to play, so they'll push in aggressively and try to make things a little difficult. But it's Jerk that takes 2 down in the courtyard, and now it's the 3v5.
Yeah, we're just trying to get some surprise kills coming through now on that mid. Even towards C, you see that push. So Wheaties, the last band setting towards this mid at B, is actually lurking towards the C. But you can see from this minimap, everybody's walking right now for Oxygen Supremacy towards his A side. Even pick up an orb for the ultimates too. It's going to be 300 credits that's going to be secured for each player. On top of that, as to get the spike plant, and now Wheaties is just going to be in position to try to find something where Jerk is actually very close under that window side, and as they peek out, he gets picked off.
Yeah. Flawless round, actually. After we had a round where only one survived, you have a flawless round. And to be quite honest, you know how important that is? Do you know how important that is? No one has to buy a weapon on the attacker side. Jerk here making sure that that was possible. 2 quick kills in the courtyard for him and finding that third there at the end. Really good stuff coming out from Oxygen. We're seeing a little bit of life that we saw, a little bit of disarray in that previous map. And the fact that no one has to buy a weapon is so good for the side of Oxygen. We'll see what they end up doing with some of that weaponry.
The thing, though, is that it is weaker than their opponents, so 3 Bulldogs and 2 Spectres. Witness trying to move down with the Operator. Double setup, actually, towards the sewers to try to clear out towards that short A. But the thing is, somebody's lurking towards long A. But we do have action inside the garage. It's going to be Bishop that gets the first frag and a whiff. Well, we're trying to get a wall bang through the doors, and Jerk takes advantage of that. Basically, he counted the bullets, ran through, got the first kill, and a second. And with a Spectre, they're able to upgrade 2 weapons right now and probably even take this B side.
Okay, somehow KP went towards A, did not get spotted by anybody, and now he's going to be rotating back towards the sewers. Yeah. Seeing Witness here from his perspective. He's got the Operator in hand, but little does he know there is a pesky little Cypher on the opposite side. 2 quick kills already traded back. The Flash trying to stop the angle that they're looking down towards, but it's KP looking for the attack from behind. Finds one, can't find the second. It's Wheaties down to the 1v1. Breach playing close towards the gong. The cage is going to make things a little bit more interesting. Still, it's going to be Wheaties that is up on top, finding the last and final frag. Demon Time putting one on the board. Pretty standard stuff. Usually you see that 3rd round go over to the team that full bot, but it was a very expensive round for both teams.
Yeah, I saw him do that 180 before he tried to go for the defuse. Definitely wanted to run over and get the Operator save into the next round. An expensive round for them to win, though, right? They win this round, and look at that money. They actually don't really have that much going on with full rifles if they wanted to. If they wanted, which they are, they're going to go with small armor instead. So Vandal with a small armor. Curtis still trying to decide what to do. It's going to be a Spectre full armor, or a Spectre full armor indeed. And now it's rifles all around for the attacker side too. So Oxygen is still looking very, very good into this round, despite them losing it.
Yeah, it's the force up here. They at the end of the day, win or lose, you try to buy as much as possible. I mean, their goal is of course to win, but that may not be the case. Of course, Oxygen has the weaponry to really play here, but they're playing a little bit more further back. We're seeing the tripwire set up from both sides, and Bish actually, the incorrect call to rotate towards C. I'm not really sure why they pulled off and have so much resources spent towards C. Maybe it's just the read that they are trying to anticipate Bish now. Rotating back, Weedy's going to find Inox. The rest of Oxygen are just trying to figure out where do they want to go.
Yeah, and now it's going to be them working towards the A side still, despite them losing to Phoenix early in that round. So the breach with the spike going to be the initiator, but Bish does have the operator on the top of the heavens. So he's rotated back. They're in a great spot right now to hold it. Here comes the execute with the smoke. Maybe he's going to try to get a wallbang. Orbital's trying to come down too, and a nice flashpoint to come across as well. So they get the first kill onto Weedy. It's a dash across, but then he gets picked off.
Wow, so now it's the 3v3. Spike's down, or sorry, the 3v4. They need to push in towards Heaven, and the other will push in towards Yellow, I believe. And it's a couple of shots here from Curtis. Not going to find it. DSK will take him down. Inox as well will join the fray and the party, but it's all up to Cole. At the end of the day, a 1v4. Not going to be very easy for him to come out of. He also has 2 points up until the res. He's got to heal. Might as well save the weaponry in. You talked a little bit about it earlier on in the round. They forced up, anticipating to win, and now they lost. And so they're going to come back with just, what is it, 1,500 credits? Like, they're not going to have anything in another round. So Oxygen can really feel happy about that moving forward.
That's right. And now, at that point, though, unfortunately, Cole would not be able to save his Phantom no matter what. So it's going to be a pistol, a full pistol save that's going to come across here for Demon Time. And Oxygen Supremacy showing that they're very comfortable on this map. We've seen it yesterday. I talked about different strategies that they could use that I haven't seen yet. They've used it already earlier. If you didn't see that, Simo, was with them putting the sage wall through the garage towards the back of the spawn so they could turn around and then get a spike plant inside B. They've done that yesterday. They're doing it today again. And I don't think that Demon Time expected that coming forward. So Oxygen Supremacy throwing whatever's under their sleeve early into the round. We'll see if at least Demon Time can catch on to it a little bit earlier than a little bit too late going into the next gun round.
At the end of the day, you know it's an eco. You know they might Zerg. Anticipate it early. Play a little bit further back. Now use the run it back to flush him out for information. Very drone style from TSM. Moon and KP will join the fray as well as they'll find 2. Control of C. 2 members remain. Easy round for Oxygen.
That's right. So it's going to be a spike plane coming down, 300 credits again. So the bank is building up here for the attacker side of Oxygen Supremacy. Bish does have the ult coming through, trying to connect, but cannot. Runs out of bullets, unfortunately, there. So that should be it for his life very soon. But you still have a Cypher that's lurking there towards that spawn side, and it is going to be Wheaties. He does have a Bucky. I love Buckies, but let's see if he can get some exits.
Yeah, he's got to play a little bit closer. They're playing a little bit more safe to try to flush it out, and the buddy system is what they'll use to get that information. Unfortunate timing for Wheaties. He looks when they're not there. They look when he's not there, but the long range distance from the Bucky won't seal the deal. DSK actually brought down to 13 HP, so it's close. It's pretty close, but it's 2 rounds back-to-back here for Oxygen, just round after round, and now we're seeing Demon Time. Of course, they would love to have the operator on Bish. That is kind of the goal. But when you have a player that is so reliant on the operator, I mean, we see this from varying players. Wardell, Skadoodle, Mixwell, Artis. We see so many operator users try to rely on it a lot. And in some cases, that's what wins the game. But when your core piece, Bish on Jet, uses the operator and does not have it in play, can you guarantee a round, or can you guarantee that the X factor will be pulled out?
Yeah, and sometimes you do see Wardell getting the rifle and able to get kills, so hopefully Bish could prove that for us as well, holding this B side where exactly Inox is about to move in. But Bish forced to fall back inside B, a curveball to come out as well. They can't find him, but they find Curtis. It's traded off, so Bishop says, yes, I could frag with the Vandal. Kolov gets a kill as well, and that's going to be now a 4-on-2 situation as Wheaties gets 1 down. Traded off by KP. Can they at least win the round?
Wow. Somehow, some way, it was a very crazy round. All up to DSK now on his lonesome. Great hold from Demon. They just played a little bit further back, used the alleyways to their advantage. Wheaties as well as Bish pulling so far back that allowed them to have the opposition run into them. And that is what benefited them at the end of the day. It's all up to DSK now. Demon Time really need this round. It's an attacker-sided map. Every round is a round that they need for Demon Time. So look like they will have another one in the bag, but DSK's got other things in plan.
got 10 HP though. Even though he's got other things in plan, it's not going to work out too well for him, and indeed it doesn't. Bishop sweeps up the kill. That's 2 kills for him in this round. A res as well for the economy, so that's perfect for Demon Time. They're going to be looking good. Still though, very low where they cannot afford an operator into this round. Thankfully though, at least for Oxygen Supremacy, they're not playing any operators either. I think every single time we've had enough money to go for operators, they're still going with 5 rifles. So
look at... Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the credits here on Wheaties. He only has 300. I don't think they got the value out of the res. I think he still had to buy up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He had to go probably for abilities, shields, and stuff like that too, but at least it doesn't force any other drops coming in from other teammates where they could actually save that economy for later rounds too. But overall, yeah, definitely. It's still a very low buy for Demon Time. Despite them having 5 rifles, it could move on into the next where they're going to have to save if they don't win this one. And Bishop, first point of contact, first kill, wins that fight on mid versus Inox, and things are looking good for Demon Time finally to try to come back into this game.
Oxygen poised and ready towards C, but there is a wall there, and they have to wait for it to go down. They don't want to give away their position either. Paranoia onto DSK, knows that something's cooking, but on the other side, it is just Curtis giving a little bit of flair to the Omen. Smoke after smoke, Paranoia after Paranoia, just trying to keep them at bay. For the side of Oxygen Supremacy, at the end of the day, I feel like they're just going to pull back and go to another site, but they don't have a lot of time left. It's 45 seconds left on the clock, and they got to decide where are they going to go. It's looking like B.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're waiting to try to find the right moment to use the Rolling Thunder for the execute at the same time too. And there you go. You see it set up for them to try to get a fake, looks like, towards that garage side, and everybody's going to move down towards B. So the Omen's going to get contacted from that one, forced to fall back into C. DSK is down to 33 HP as they focus the 3 players still towards the C side. We have made it inside B. The Brimstone is waiting on the other side on the defenders. That's Witness. Curtis is already inside B. This is going to be a bloodbath coming through. We're going to push down towards the garage at the same time as well. But the first point of contact should be happening towards this B, but a big flank coming in from DSK at C as well, Simo.
Yeah, you know, for Oxygen, they just have to hold on. Unfortunately for them, they don't have that extra Molotov in the Phoenix, so they only have one to work with. Moon gonna find one early, but DSK from behind takes them all down. Still, there are 2 members remaining, though. Doesn't get them all as he ends up falling. It's Jerk now trying to push in. The defuse is almost good. It's up probably down to half. Witness trying to keep things cooking, but it's KB pushes through the smoke. It says, hello, how you doing? Takes another round for the attackers.
And that's the mistake. The mistake is that, how did you not know that DSK wasn't going to be on a flank? Because you popped him down to low 30 HP, you saw him jump inside the garage window, you saw him potentially fall back, but you let him still creep through to C ramp and go all the way around the spawn side and almost line up 2 kills. So that was a mistake in terms of communication to try to figure out where DSK was going to go after that kill. But still, no matter what, for Oxygen Supremacy, it was just based off that Rolling Thunder to sell that fake that worked incredibly well for them to take over that B side and play the pulse plant. Now, like I said, it's going to be a low buy coming through and a nice trade coming in from Wheaties, no!
So close, gets 2. Can't find the 3rd. The resurrection will nullify some of that danger. Curtis going to be teleporting up into heaven. A missed shot, crucial from Bish. It is, of course, the Marshal, so can't expect it to make wonders work. The slow orb going to make things just that much more difficult to peek through. And it's Curtis now that just narrowly escapes the Molotov. That's got to feel good, though. But it's the 3v3 retake. Let's see how Demon Time push in.
That's right. I think they still got that tag off that Marshal, so that force buy coming in now for Demon Time. It is desperate times for this team on this retake. Run it back, getting that information, allowing Jerk to come out to get the kill onto Curtis. Looks behind the site, another one to Cole, and Inox picks up the last kill at Sewers onto Bishop. So it's going to be now 6-2. It's probably just Bish because it's Bish up and Cole up, but I think Bishop sounds cooler in 2020.
Bishop! I mean, at the end of the day, Bish is very close to another word, you know, that we probably can't say on air.
That's why it's going to be Bishop.
That's why, yeah, okay, cool. I'll work with that. that. Okay, I'll work with that. Bishop and Cole up. That's what we're working with. 6-2 is the scoreline in favor of the attack. We are just 4 rounds away, including this one, of course, until the end of the first half. Gonna kick things off, the spray down of the doors. Oxygen have been doing this fairly consistently to try to gain control of mid and then either peel off towards C. or towards B, but when they break down those doors, it signifies that it's likely not going to be A. And so you're seeing now Demon Time try to make that call early on, push in towards potentially the attacker spawn, and really go all the way in. But there's a tripwire there, and KP now going to be waiting on the other side, little does he know. So we'll see how this ends up panning out and if the flank will actually work out.
Yeah, at least from that push, though, it gives an advantage for a Bishop to actually move back towards his B side. Big paranoia to come through, and Ox is forced to fall back. So you see them trying to execute inside this garage for Oxygen Supremacy. There's that execution coming through, and now can they hold it? A flashpoint to come back, or sorry, a curveball to come out, and it's going to be Inox and Jerk. We've seen this trap before. Now they're expecting it, but now they break the wall to go towards C. Well, Kolop is waiting. That's one, but traded off.
Yeah, it's all up to Bishop now, and can he take out some of these pawns who are making their way onto the C site, get that spike down? Of course, Bishop has the operator, may not want to lose it. Wheaties was supposed to be there for the long flank, and he will not get that job done. Couple of kills already traded back and forth, but there's 2 members left. They've got a great sight line on the spike. All they need to do is look down towards long. They can also have the buddy system that they can swing together from varying angles. Wheaties has his work cut out for him, and he doesn't have a fresh corpse to use neural theft either. So this is looking like a round for Oxygen if he is not able to do this, but he's playing quite aggressively. Checks the cubby, knows that there's some on the other side. Shot's not going to be good. Then it's Moon that takes him down.
And if you notice that minimap there, Simo, is that trapwire that's towards that long A was still there. So I'm wondering if that trapwire was a little bit too low and Wheaties was still able to jump over it to go for a flank. But the thing is, I did notice that a camera went up inside the window too. So KP put up the camera, saw him, and now the full flank was totally nullified. So a great job there for KP to get that information for his team. That's why we saw him turn around and swing around towards that face-to-face battle at long B. And he actually lost the fight for KP, but at least he gave that information away. So a good way to play the Cypher there, to watch those flanks indirectly with the kit that they have. Into this round now, Oxygen Supremacy going for the orb.
Yeah, look at that cubby play, though. It's going to be super close. We'll see if he will end up with frags. There's Cole up on the other side. It's not going to be the case. Inox will take him down. One now, trying to keep the C side dreams alive. KP and Jerk on the opposite side take out so many near the B side, and it's all up to Wheaties once again. He's got a Bucky and a Dream, and he's up against 5 here. If he can get a weapon upgrade, he might be able to do some damage. The distance with the Bucky, not going to be the case. Knows that they're going to start to funnel in through the C site, but hiding behind the gong is probably the best call. One shot's going to be good.
What?
It's going to be 2. Oh, baby. Still, there are 3 more left. Using the gong as cover. They'll smoke him out with the Molotov, but that is an expensive round for Oxygen.
Why the hell wasn't it called for the teammate that he was behind the gong? Why was Sage still looking towards the front of the site? Because his teammate, you still had KP in the front of the site, so there's no way that the kill came from the front of the site. And here you go, I was going to call that as well. Luckily enough that the Sage that was hiding inside that cubby of C only had a pistol, a save round for Cole and company on that previous round, because it was a soft clear that Inox did. Because he checked once, it was like, oh crap, there's actually is somebody there. Went for the spray and the win. But if he actually had to play against a rifle, he was automatically dead out of that one. And the story would have been different for Cole and company on that round. And speaking of this one now, they finally have the econ, they have the money, but they have the whiff from the op.
That was close. That would have been really crucial. But another whiffed shot, 2 ops in play. One's going to be the one that on the defensive side is taken out. Inox using the run it back. And I'm starting to believe that Phoenix is quite essential to some compositions. You know, we've seen players like Drone, even like Carlos himself, use it to great effect. And we're seeing Inox here really provide great value out of it and knows exactly when to use that ultimate. They've got control of the C site, and now those post-plant positions are going to start to come through. It's 4 members for Demon Time. Make it 3, make it 2 that are now having to push through and retake the site.
Yeah, now it's just 1 more to go at this point. It's going to be the Cypher Wheaties. He does have fresh corpses, but decides not to use it on this 3 versus 1, because we still have a Rolling Thunder. But actually, the Rolling Thunder is playing inside the site, quite interesting enough. So we're just going to try to hurt the econ going through, so he gets the first headshot onto DSK. A tap. Oh, he's going to stick it because the Cyber Cage is out. He's getting tagged through that, but Inox knows exactly where it's at. I mean, it's another thing too, though. When you're playing this game, you don't really care about the cyber cage because your teammates could actually hit the minimap and just ping where the spike is. You just spray it after with 2 people. So that's unfortunate that that's in the game, but I also like it that it's in the game. It's still a debate.
Last round. No money, no credits for Demon Time. They've got Spectres, and to be quite honest, I've seen a couple of European teams use the Spectres to just like insane ability. Somehow from range, they can do some serious damage. Of course, Demon Time's going to want to play a little bit closer. That's where you're seeing a beautiful 4-stack towards the courtyard, and they'll find things out early. Inox is going to take one. The flash is actually good, going to flash them all down. It's going to be 2 for him, but the refrags come through. Bish, the last one standing, but it is the 1v2, still very doable. Bish actually picked up a Phantom in the mix. They'll call that rotate over towards A, but they'll be spotted by tripwires once they pass sewers. Bish has to know that something's up.
That's right. That could give him a chance at least to get that information and rotate early, and they'll break it. He's still walking, though. Okay, at least he walks out with the axe. So at least he's going to try to nullify or at least narrow down the time it takes to run over towards his A side, but there is a trapwire from the attackers, though. So that's going to give his position away, unfortunately. Oh, he's going to float over it. That's good. Oh. That's very well done. And he gets that first kill onto Moon.
That's huge. That's huge. That's the type of big brain play. That's the bishop to queen checkmate. Looking to try to close things out early, but the red carpet's just rolled on out for Bishop. He will not get affected by it, using the tailwind to get out of position. It's a couple of smokes up to no good. And the defuse is going to start to come through here, but the shots are good. DSK pushes through. What a great halftime here for Oxygen. 2-10. Great scoreline. Really one of the best attacker halves that you could ask for. Now they have to defend. Oof. If they win the pistol, we might see Demon Time fall here early on in this best of 3.
The only thing that sucks, though, if you're still looking at the scoreboard here, Simo, is that you have Curtis at 1-12. So maybe because they're playing on the defender side, Omen is not that useful. Yes, besides the dark cover, there's not really much you could really do. I mean, you don't really ult anywhere to try to flank. You're trying to help the team out as much as you can against execution. That's been very compact for Oxygen Supremacy, right? We haven't really seen them lurk around and get kills and then go for the rotate across to where they get the openers. They really just execute as a team, so there's no need to use anything else from Omen's kit. Hopefully it changes here on the second half as they take the attacker side, and they themselves are looking for some sort of a C-split in this pistol.
At the end of the day, this pistol's super crucial for Demon Time to come out on top. Oxygen, they've got themselves already a flank prepared. 2 are going to start to funnel in. It's KB that is defending the B side. Only 1 will come through. The shots are not good from Jerk. They will actually find themselves onto the body of Cole Up. It's Bishop that'll back away into the site. Spike's still not down. They've rotated over towards C, but it's the long con flank for DSK, taking out a crucial member, which, quite honestly, might end up being the winning factor here for the round. Wheaties and Curtis, though, will have something to say about it. All up to DSK now. He's got a lot of utility that he can use, but it's the buddy system that might end up working out here for the side of Demon Time. Gonna try to use that flash early, pushes through the site. They'll just play ring around the rosy behind the boxes. One shot is good, still one more, and it's that close that DSK comes in clutch.
That was such a great round for him there on that 2 versus 1. I mean, you can't really ask for anything more. They played it perfectly there for Demon Time. Yes, it was just unfortunate a half of the body of the Omen of Curtis was sticking out that allowed those 1 versus 1 fights towards the end. But they had the idea of the crossfire. They had dark cover to go out to. And here's a little mistake going on as well. Bish should have had that kill on that 2-person push towards the Jet. They should have had to kill onto Bishop. But nonetheless, though, it comes down to Oxygen Supremacy being able to get that round. But this is like so grim right now for Demon Time. Yes, Curtis, I talked about it. He had 1, now he's at 2 at least.
Look at Demon Time, though. They force up, and at the end of the day, that's all you could really do, right? Yeah. You're down and out. You potentially lose the entire game off of a pistol. You force up. You try to force the issue. You try to bring the heat over to them, and they can make things very interesting here. For how they shape up, but so far no one's fallen out quite yet.
Yeah, I saw Marshals towards Long C, so that's Bishop trying to do a battle there versus DSK towards C side, but they are still working towards B, so very split up across the map. They're trying to force rotations out, but we still have aggressive pushes from Oxygen Supremacy down towards the sewer. Towards Long, there's going to be a Cypher Mirror battle over there as well, so this is going to be nothing but flanks after flanks going into potentially a post-plant situation inside B.
Yeah, they're still biding their time, though. 50 seconds left on the clock. Looking towards B, it's Moon that is being called over towards A, and it's Jerk that'll fulfill that duty to try to keep things a little bit more interesting. The barrier orb comes up in time, but costs him his life. The trade that Inox got is short-lived. Now the Molotov going to be coming in as well. It's DSK that pushes through the smoke. One kill will go his way. It's Curtis that'll answer back, and now a strange retake, the 2v3. Demon Time, how are they going to defend this retake?
Well, it starts off now with them trying to come back from this A side for Oxygen Supremacy, but they're still holding outside B, so they're in a great position right now to hold it. They have a Marshall right on to the spike that gets the headshot onto Inox, trying to connect onto the second one, but they can't. A 2 versus 2, Curtis around the corner. It's a trade-off. Bishop with no HP getting hunted down towards that mid side, and now he's falling back towards the garage. The bullet's still up. Plenty of time to defuse so far. He's sticking it for Moon. Bish is about to peek out. Connects with at least the first shot, but now there's not enough time. He should have it here. Does get the headshot, and Demon Time stays alive.
That was too close for comfort. That was a round Oxygen should have won. What are these rounds, though? At the end of the day, you call the force up, it goes down to the 1v1, and you win. That, you can at least breathe a sigh of relief. We're still in this. We can still come back. But I mean, Oxygen, they've got a huge round buffer. 8 rounds to be exact for Demon Time to catch up. Of course, the pistols here for the defense signify that potentially it's actually going to be 7-round buffer. But at the end of the day, all they need to do is win 2, and they get that 2-0 sweep.
Yeah, I was going to say, on paper, it looks like it's 7. You already have 1 at 11 HP, 1 at 20 HP. So that's 2 guys that are lit, and Bishop at least gets the kill onto KP as the defenders are still pushing down towards the C side. Smokes to cover them up, and finally things have calmed down into the upper hand here for Demon Time because the Cypher was able to push down towards the A. You have one guy watching this flank. Witness might sacrifice his Bulldog, but to the expense of his team being able to plant inside A and get the round.
Oh, he heard the flash. Now he's going to get into position up on the box. This one shot that's not going to be good. Bishop will take him down. Has a great angle to cover the entire hallway of the attackers. The shot's not good, and Bishop falls. It is up to the 3v2. And Oxygen, they've picked up some weapons that they can use. Of course, for them, it is going to be the Cypher player playing towards B that can try to get a flank. It's Wheaties that's in a great position. Cole up, though. You never expect anyone behind the bricks, and now that he hears somebody potentially coming through, the shots are good. DSK will fall all up to the 1v3, and the shots from Jerk just not able to seal the deal. Cole up will be the one that gets that headshot, and I mean, now it's 7-round buffer.
No, definitely. Definitely. It was close, though. I mean, like, they did a really, really good job for Oxygen Supremacy to push down and try to get those kills. They still make it very expensive for Demon Time into this round. What? They lost, what, 2 players into that round? So that means that this round they have a Bulldog that they saved from that previous from Cole. The Witness has to go with a Spectre at this point, but you have full rifles right now for DSK and company. I saw some rebuys going through. I don't know if they decide to go for a last-minute operator buy. No, it's going to be still a Vandal going through for DSK. And now Bishop moving with this operator, trying to look towards C. It's going to be that 1v1 battle in that area.
Not going to lie, operators on the attacker side, they're very tricky to work with. Of course, it's the defense that always have the angle on you, not the other way around. But Wheaties going to find an early frag onto KP, his alter ego Cypher player. Great opening for the attack. It's going to be the trade, though, for Inox. He sees one more. The toes will be tickled, but will not end up in frag. Curtis, though, now has to back away with the spike, and I think they might change their mind and go towards C. But they need to pick up the spike if they want to go towards A. So they'll do just that. I thought they were going to be shifting towards C, but now they'll have to face Inox, who's on the other side. And actually can use run it back to stop them if he tries to use that there.
Yeah, because that was a tell already. Because of that res, okay, I got the orb. I heard the res. I know there's a couple of guys heading towards this A side. That's why you have this rotation on that minimap of defenders moving in towards this A. But you're right here, Simo. They said they were going to work towards this B side eventually. They do right now. So right now it's open. They have 5 players getting ready to move inside as a team towards long C, where the only closest opposition is actually a Sage playing inside the left side of the B wall. So now the dark covers are going to come out. They're going to hear the abilities being thrown here towards his C side, and finally the rotation comes back. It's going to be an easy plant, safe behind the site too, where it's actually safe from the orbital strike as well, and planted for long too. So things are looking good for Demon Time.
Yeah, they've got that spike down, but Moon has something to say about it. One frag will come through, and the teleport gonna put him to safety. They've got that spike in a great position, but need to use the utility together to try to keep them at bay. And now that's gonna be Bishop has to get out of there. Kills traded back and forth, but they need to get onto the spike. Still one more member remain. It's Wheaties on the other side. They'll try to stick to defuse, but it's getting too late. Jerk though with the headshot, putting Oxygen to map point.
That was so well played there for the defender side on that retake. You had that aftershock inside the cubby, knowing the player was inside there. She jets out, but there's already a player in front of you where you can't actually retaliate back. You get picked off, and then Jerk comes in for a last-minute save, and it's just as simple as throwing frost orbs to prevent a fast peek from an operator, giving them an advantage for a two-man take on that spike to get the defuse on top of that too. And that was just really great gameplay and teamwork displayed by Oxygen Supremacy.
Seeing already the weaponry not looking so good for Demon Time. Curtis, he's got himself the Phantom, and they're trying to get this boost for C, but it's just not working. He's like, jump, bro, just jump.
It's so
get
close.
Up there. Just jump. I have no idea why a Phoenix is trying to get on the box, and you can get somebody like a Sage, or, but listen, it's not my place to call that. We are seeing Demon Time looking towards C once again. Bishop with an aggressive frag. Kolop as well pushing through, but it's a face full of lead for Kolop as Inox takes him down. Now it is down to the 3v3, and Bishop is out of the mix.
That's right. At least we have a shadow step coming through for Curtis inside the site. Close range battle versus the operator of Inox. He's coming around the log side, and he's got teammates coming out for Inox as well. So it's going to be a 2 versus 1 inside the site. Curtis somehow never heard him head towards that dumpster side. So an easy kill. A side at least is open. That's where the Brimstone is headed, but things are looking very grim right now in this 3 versus 2. Thankfully, though, they have a neural theft, and they have an orbital strike, and possibly a molly on top of that. If Witness could actually throw some molly sets as well, they're looking good into this round.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is the round where it could all end here for them. We talked a little bit about some of the prize pool money that's waiting on the other side. It's a guaranteed 1,800 if they make it through.
I love it.
They need to fight for the orbital strike, going to delay the defusal. I'm not quite sure how much left is on the spike to be taken.
Halfway.
He's going to start to push through. The smokes are going to go down, but he's going to push in aggressively. Has to walk through the fire and the flames, but now that it's subsided, he can safely walk through. There's 2 on the other side. The shots come through. They'll commit to the defuse.
No way.
They should
How does that finish that way?
Have called that. Why didn't they push in? I'm confused. There's money on the line, respect on the line, bragging rights on the line. Just walk through, forehead. The smoke is not that bad, but at the end of the day, Vansili, a loss is a loss. Oxygen, they will move on to the grand finals. A 2-0 victory for them at the top. Inox, Jerk, Moon, the entire squadron just providing that firepower. Really have to commend my hat over to them.
Yeah, but I thought that on that 2 versus 3 or 2 versus 4, they had everything needed to actually win that round, right? So you had the Cypher as Wheaties, you had Witness as a Brimstone. You get a spike plant, that means you still have Wheaties alive with the camera. The camera spotted a player, tagged him. Perfect. We know exactly where they are. They're inside the site. They have an orbital strike. They push him off the site. The fuse went halfway. Okay, let's put that into context as well. But then after that, the thing that I'm questioning is Witness still had the molly. And we've seen players like Pride from 100 Thieves being able to throw those set mollies that lands right at that spot that actually wins them the round because they waste so much time coming back into attempting to defuse. And I'm not sure why that wasn't even thrown, and that's why they lost that round. I thought that was the play, but I'm surprised that I didn't see that with that molly.
At the end of the day, Oxygen, they have to be feeling like they're on top of the world. Yeah. Having a quick look at some of the highlights, to be quite honest, it was really both teams putting on a show, really on the back of somebody like Bishop. But again, Jerk, I think he stepped up a lot more today than his performance yesterday. He wasn't top fragging yesterday, but today he is. And today he's really putting on a performance. Inox as well, joining him up there for the side of Oxygen. But I have to say, I'm really impressed with some of the players from Demon Time. Yes, they took the L here, but players like Bishop and players like Wheaties they will find themselves, if not on a team like Demon Time, on other teams that really might need players like them. Maybe they need a Cypher. Maybe they need an operator player like Bishop. If they don't like the team that they're on right now, or if they want to switch rosters, I feel like those are two players on the team that have performed quite well and can feel good about any of those qualifiers moving forward.
No, definitely. I got to commend Wheaties too. Wheaties was probably one of the players on the two maps that probably did the best for me for the team of Demon Time, playing as that Cypher. Either it's on defense, either it's on flanks, either it's getting information. He's playing that agent quite well, and I loved seeing his gameplay, especially the highlight reels we've seen with multiple 2 kills, 3 kills into the round. He did very, very good. And I think no matter what, despite them losing here, Demon Time versus Oxygen Supremacy, when you're looking at the GLL qualifiers into this, right? I talked about it yesterday. There was over, 150 teams that participated to try to qualify into the top 16. You've made it to the top 4 out of 150 teams that actually participated or tried to get at least a bit of money into the $10,000 grand prize pool in North America. So I got to tip my hat and congratulate you guys for making this far too. For a team that's unknown and a team that we don't hear about a lot, to make it this far, man, you could walk away with your head high.
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day, the open qualifier tournaments are really where teams can show their prowess, and 100+ teams, that is a lot of players to go through and to chew through. But we are seeing a look at the bracket here. Of course, Oxygen Supremacy. If you didn't know, you know now. They will be moving on to the grand finals tomorrow. And up ahead, we've got Way Too French and Team Underrated to close us out for the day, which we will be broadcasting a little bit later. But I'm really excited to see those two teams shine.
Definitely. So that is going to be happening at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now it is 7:30 on the dot Eastern Standard Time. So that means it's going to be in an hour and a half. So with that, though, while you have plenty of time to wander around on the internet, first off, get some food because it is dinner time. And then after that, head on over to the spike.gg to get all that information for everything that's happened in the whole bracket, looking at this tournament here with the Trovo Challenge, the Valorant Challenge for Trovo. And also make sure you guys check out play.gll.gg/Valorant. The reason why is because we actually use their platform to be able to go through the whole qualifiers, and starting next week, every single day, they're running Valorant tournaments for you guys to learn how to play as a team, see what the competitive game mode is all about, and see if it's going to be something interesting that you guys want to compete in, into eventually being able to hopefully win at least $10,000 or $5,000 against first place in this Trovo Challenge.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I had even a couple of professional players or semi-amateur players reach out to me like, where can I compete? Where can I get some of my chops cooking? Where can I really practice with my team? And to be quite honest, this seems to be like the hotbed for NA, for Europe. We've got two great teams on the opposite side in Europe waiting to be casted tomorrow for the grand finals. And here we have even some teams that we know and that we've casted before, specifically in the team of Way Too French, that they know where the competition is, and this is definitely a place for them to show themselves today, and for any team really to show themselves.
That's right. So coming up next is we are going to have this Way Too French versus Team Underrated. We're trying to figure out what's going to happen with this matchup. I mean, we could talk about it a little bit because we do have time. I mean, we have an hour and a half, Simo. I did tell you that after we finish this match, we're just going to be talking for an hour until we actually get into the next best out of 3. So Way Too French versus Team Underrated, I think it's going to be a very good one. You actually mentioned to me off air that when we looked at this roster, because I commend them, we have players coming in from the Counter-Strike scene like Shanks, like Marv. But Marv actually didn't even play with Team Underrated in the quarterfinals yesterday. And he still beat Big Frames.
Yeah. And to be quite honest, like, I've seen Big Frames in some other tournaments. Like, they were really up there in some of the battles against a team like Mousespaz, which are now obviously TSM. And they actually also had some great performances against Way Too French. So for them to take out Big Frames in on bind 13-7, like, that is gross. Anything that is not a double-digit scoreline for two teams, like, that is disgusting. I'll give the 13-9s their props, but 13-7, that is scary for whoever's going to be waiting for them. It's obviously way too French. And to be quite honest, they both love Bind. Team Underrated, they ended up going to Split as one of the maps, and they still did fairly well against Big Frames. You're going to be looking at their star player. It's Poised. He plays Brimstone. He plays Breach. And based on his fragging potential, it means that he's not afraid to get in there. Doesn't have the jet to get out of there, out of some scary situations. But considering he's playing the denial of vision with smokes and flashes, he is looking forward and to be the one that pushes in and be the entry to get those frags.
So I might put you on the spot here, Simo, because I want to ask you, what do you think is going on with Big Frames then? Because we talked a lot about Big Frames in the beta. We talked a lot about Big Frames when the game first came out. And we're like, man, this is probably one of the teams we have to look out for. And being signed by Big Frames is probably like, okay, well, they have some support. They have what it takes to move up to the top. But we haven't, unfortunately, seen them being able to get very, very far. I think the latest or the highest setting that they had, or the highest victory that they were able to get, was like 4th at the Pittsburgh Knights Invitational. But they have players like Randy Savage, who I think has ranked for way too French. And one of the qualifiers in the past for, I think, Immortals First Light, I think. And he was fragging out, man. So they have fragging power in him, win some CP2 and nerf, but they can't seem to be able to go forward. So what's your take on that?
To be quite honest, having a quick look at some of the information on the most resourceful, the most important, the most information you'll ever find about Valorant, the Valorant Liquipedia, and having a quick look, they've had some pieces come and go. So Bjor obviously going over to Immortals, but that was relatively early on. So that considering they still have had great performances, it's players like Loner, who's no longer a part of the team, who I think has been a part of varying teams. Like he's been a stand-in for some other teams. And so having a little bit of a mix-up with some of the players that you have on your roster, coming and going. Of course, they have Randy Savage, and he has put on great performances, not only for his team, but for others, like you said, way too French. I have a feeling that they are just trying to find that last puzzle piece to really fill out their roster and put on the performances that they were putting on earlier on in the beta. So maybe they're just trying to find their voice, trying to find their play style, which this game is all about. This game is about play style, how you play. It's in some cases it feels like rock, paper, scissors. Like way too French might beat Big Frames on Ascent, but Big Frames might beat TSM on Bind. You know, it's just like this crazy whirlwind of like, well, who beats who? And so I think Big Frames just need that last puzzle piece.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about puzzle piece too, you probably have Artem, or just Tem for short, that used to play for them too. He actually left to play for Spot Up. Spot Up was actually looking quite good as well, but now they have their ups and downs too, as they weren't able to qualify into this tournament either for the Valorant Trovo Challenge. But with that though, I think we're ready to go for that break. So ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned. In an hour and 25 minutes, Simo and I will be back to broadcast the second semifinals for the Valorant Trovo Challenge. It is going to be Way Too French versus Team Underrated. So with that, bon appétit, eat well, and long meal, and we'll see you guys in an hour and a half.